Thunder and Lightning's gaming news podcast. I'm Thunder.
And I'm Lightning, and today we're talking about Anthony's Week in Video Games first, because that's how it starts.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Chris.
Yeah?
It's such a great 2023 is like fucking going. Like there's so much gaming happening. I'm so excited to talk about all of it. This is not a sarcasm at all.
No, I can tell. I've known you long enough, I can tell.
So, first of all, last time we played Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke, I mentioned that I caught a shiny Pokemon. I caught a shiny Gardevoir or whatever.
Yeah.
I am now a shiny hunting master. I have 12 shiny Pokemon. No. Sorry, I have more than that. I have 14 shiny Pokemon.
Wow.
16. I have 16 shiny Pokemon.
Okay.
If you count their evolutions, I have 31 shiny Pokemon.
Shit.
It's really fun. Some of them, because you beat the game, you get all the Pokemon, they give you a shiny charm, and shiny hunting gets easier in general, but then there's like ways to manipulate it where you're in like shiny hunting mode. And most of them have been from that, but
and
some
you
of them
mentioned the Brilliant Diamond. Are you talking the new game?
I'm sorry, yes. I'm talking about Pokemon Violet and Scarlet.
Okay.
I'm shiny hunting in Violet. And it's really fun. But I've gotten to the point in the game where it's like, I've beaten the game. There's no more Pokemon to catch. There's no more side quests to do. All my time is spent shiny hunting or resource gathering so I can shiny hunt, because the resources you need to hunt shiny Pokemon are really hard to come by. So more often than not, I'm doing that. But shiny hunting in this game is so easy. I don't want to discredit myself. I'm still, I think 16 is a cool number for someone who has not really ever been a fan of shiny hunting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I caught some cool ones, which are not important because I have other stuff I want to talk about.
No, it's okay. Well, if I'm not going back and forth, it's because I know we got a lot to talk about. But that is really cool. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. I'm excited to play it. I still haven't gotten into it, but I'll talk about that when it's my turn.
Dude, just give me a list of shiny Pokemon you want, and I'll get one for you. So I briefly wanted to mention this. I played the Shadow of Rose DLC for Resident Evil 8.
Okay.
It was fine. It was good. I liked it a lot. It was largely like what I expected. There was one section, the scariest thing I've ever experienced in a Resident Evil game. The most legitimately frightening, like, wow, this is a fucking horror game scenario thing. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want it to get spoiled.
Sure. Because
it's very easily, I could explain it very easily, but then it's like, oh, well, you told me about it. But yeah, it was great. It was really good. The main thing I want to talk about.
Sure.
A little bit of a backstory, real quick. There's a legendary game developer. His name is Shinji Mikami. He co-created Resident Evil with Hideki Kamiya.
Mm-hmm.
He makes Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. Him and Hideki Kamiya split. Hideki Kamiya leaves Capcom. He makes Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, all that stuff. Shinji Mikami stays with Resident Evil for one more game. They put him in charge of Resident Evil 4. So Resident Evil 4 is completely him, right? He leaves Capcom, and then he makes The Evil Within, which is essentially a love letter to Resident Evil 4. It's kind of the same exact game, but this guy's huge in the horror. He's basically the grandfather of modern horror games, right?
Yeah.
So Xbox had a presentation last week that was largely uninteresting, except there was one game that was announced that came out of nowhere. And this game is developed by Tango Gameworks, which is the Shinji Mikami's company. And it's not a horror game.
Okay.
It's called Hi-Fi Rush. Have you heard about this at all? Okay. It's not a horror game. It's a rhythm game.
Oh wait, I might have heard something about this. Keep going. But
it's a rhythm action hack and slash.
Yes.
So
I have heard a little bit about this.
Everything is done on the beat. The character walks on the beat. The world moves on the beat. And then, like every other rhythm game, if you press the button on the beat, your score goes up. But your score, if you're playing on, anything other than the hardest difficulty, your score doesn't really matter. This dude is always going to attack and move on the beat, even if you're wildly offbeat. Just being on the beat will help score multiplier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't want to jump the gun, I think it might be my favorite video game of all time.
Really?
I love it so much.
Do you want to play it on the channel?
We could. I would love to do that.
Okay.
It was exceptional. Oh, that's the other thing. They announced this game. They're like, yeah, we've never talked about this before. We're announcing it right now. It's out right now. It's on Game Pass. Go for it. And I was like, what? Okay, I'll try it out. I've fallen in love with it. The two main characters are Robbie Damon and Erica Lindbeck, voice acting legends, who've worked together before. With any rhythm game, there's a period of like getting used to the controls and getting used to the because there are some rhythm games where you're like, okay, I get it. Like every DDR game and every game that is like DDR is going to play the exact same way, right? But this one's so different, because it's not just a rhythm game. It's an action hack and slash, beat 'em up, whatever you want to call it. That just so happens to be a rhythm game.
Right.
So you're in a robotics factory, and this kid you're playing as was supposed to get an arm replacement. And what happens was his iPod accidentally falls into the machine with him, and it gets, like, robot parts into his chest.
Okay.
So he essentially has Iron Man's arc reactor, but it's an iPod. So he's forced to act on the beat of the music that his iPod is playing. So every fight, every boss fight, maybe this isn't my favorite game of all time. Maybe I look deep inside myself and I'm like, no, it's still Bloodborne. I take it back. My favorite boss fight of all time in any video game ever.
Really?
It's the head of finance. He turns into a giant mecha werewolf, and rather than a rock song or an EDM song, you fight him to Beethoven's Fifth.
Oh.
Or rather, he fights you to the tune of Beethoven's Fifth. And it was incredible. So many references. There's this one character. So all the characters, this is my favorite part, I think. All the characters, all the good guys are named after lattes. So the main character's name is Chai. There's a character named Peppermint. There's a character named Cinnamon. Stuff like that. Everyone else is named after something. There's
I'm
one...
picturing this as like an 8-bit game. I don't know why.
That's the other thing about this fucking game. When you look at it, it looks like a 2D anime. But it's it's that style of artwork where it's like, it's 3D. It's 3D character models, but it's made to look 2D.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see cutscenes, just keep in mind that it's not cutscene. It's all in engine. Like that's what the game looks like. And it looks incredible. So there's this one character, he's a bad guy, and he is completely 100% a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference.
Okay.
He does multiple poses. He does Joseph's pose. He does Dio's pose. What's this one? I think this one's Giorno.
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, I think you're right. That sounds like Giorno.
And then he makes a Castlevania reference right before you fight him. But I was looking up all the names because I was like, now that I beat the game, I got to know what all these references are. Because like some of them are obvious. Like one of the characters, her name is Mimosa. Obviously that's an alcoholic beverage, right? But this character was named Zanzo, and I looked it up. I was like, when you Google Zanzo, the first thing that comes up is there's a band called Zanzo. Okay. They literally named the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character after a band.
Yes. I love it. Why not, right?
I was so like, it took me a second. I was like, yeah, latte, you're named after a coffee, you're named after this. And I was like, Zanzo, I'm only finding this band. I guess he's named after a band. Oh, of course he's named after a band. That's incredible. So yeah, I really, really like it. It ended, and sometimes when a game ends and the credits roll and it brings you back and you're like, you could play the game more if you want. Usually I'm done. Usually I'm like, unless I super really liked it and I must play it again on New Game Plus. Usually I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to move on to something else. This game ended and they were like, hey, you could do all this stuff. And I was like, oh, thank God. I don't have to stop playing. because it's so fun. And it got like difficult but not frustrating, like
Okay.
like a good Dark Souls game.
Sure.
I don't know. It. I don't know. I really like it. I was playing that and Shadow of Rose for a bit, so I would like. Oh, plus I recently replayed Resident Evil 8 on third person mode because that's part of the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
My review of that is that game was clearly not supposed to be played in third person. But I was going back and forth. I was doing like a level of this, a level of that, and I got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna finish my Resident Evil 8 playthrough real quick so that I can just play Hi-Fi Rush because I don't want to keep going back and forth. I just want to play Hi-Fi Rush. Because it's really good. And I
That's awesome.
yeah.
I'm glad you found a game that like that doesn't sound like a AAA game. I'm sure. I mean, it's made by a AAA guy.
Yeah,
Obviously, but
it's made by Tango Gameworks.
it's not. Doesn't seem like a game that's first party.
No, yeah,
Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox made.
Right.
And it's taking that much like. For somebody who loves games as much as you do, for it to get the accolades that you're giving
dude,
it,
yeah.
that's pretty impressive.
And I'm not alone in saying this. A lot of people online are just being like, I mean, it's January, but this is game of the year. Like,
that's crazy.
I'm thinking about what's coming out this year, and the two games that come to mind are Lies of P and Breath of the Wild 2. And having played Breath of the Wild 1 for over 400 hours, and having played Lies of P for about a half hour at PAX, I think I can safely say that those games, as good as they're going to be, are not going to be as good as Hi-Fi Rush. I think this is going to get Game of the Year. I really mean that.
Okay. We'll have to keep an eye on that then.
Because holy shit, just nobody is. Oh, you can ignore that. It'll close itself.
Oh, okay.
Nobody is complaining about this game. Like literally everyone who's played it likes it. I think this is a game for hardcore rhythm game fans. I think this is a game for people who've never played a rhythm game before, because if you want, there's 3 on-screen indicators to help you keep on the beat. So if you're usually it's 2, but you can have a third one if you're struggling. And even then, like Mason was talking to me about it. He was like, "What if I want to play this game, but I literally have no rhythm?" I was like, "You don't need it, because the game is gonna be in rhythm, and if you aren't in rhythm, it's not gonna matter." Because your score's going to tank, but you're still going to be able to play the entire game.
Right. They didn't quite Guitar Hero you, where it's like you
Right.
suck. Well, you're done playing.
Exactly. Except in the hardest difficulty. There's easy, normal, hard, very hard, and then there's Rhythm Master. And if your score drops to D, you get a game over immediately.
Wow.
That's fine. It's the hardest difficulty.
Right.
If that was the whole game, it'd be kind of unplayable.
Assuria.
Hello, welcome on in. We're talking about
in.
Hi-Fi Rush, which may or may not be my new favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Because it's incredible. And it's on Game Pass. That's how I played it, for free on Game Pass. If you don't have Game Pass and you want to play it, it's only $30.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Assuria, thank you for joining us. I feel like we haven't heard from you in a while, and it's good to have you in.
Also, Hi-Fi Rush, I can't stress this enough, is developed by the grandfather of modern horror.
Oh, I know.
I can't get over that fact.
Well, that's why I kind of backpedaled a bit, because I was like, well, there are AAA names involved in this game.
Yeah, and there's also legitimate licensed music. There was a Black Keys song, there was a Fiona Apple song, there was a Nine Inch Nails song.
On low battery.
Oh yeah, do we need to do something about that?
It'd be nice,
because
but
we are gonna go for.
I know we're gonna go for a long time. I mean, I can stop having the. I mean, I don't. It just gives me better numbers. But I guess I don't need that.
Okay, I mean, it's up to you. If you want me to go grab you a charger, I can go do that.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
But
yeah, so that is my week. I'm still loving Pokemon. Shadow of Rose gets a big thumbs up as far as hyper expensive DLC is concerned. And Hi-Fi Rush is a game that every person who's ever picked up a video game controller or wanted to pick up a video game controller should play, because it's that good. And
yeah,
how was your week in gaming? I have a feeling it's going to be very GoldenEye focused, but
no, did some. I'm not even being funny. Did something happen with?
Oh, are you
GoldenEye?
kidding me? Yeah,
Oh,
GoldenEye is on.
It's on Switch, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I haven't touched that actually.
Do you want to know what's so weird about GoldenEye being on Switch? It's because it's a Rare game. It's also on Game Pass. You can't play online multiplayer on Game Pass, but you can on Switch.
Oh, so okay? That I've got questions about that. Maybe we could put that in the news briefly. Well, you know what? Can you play online?
Mm-hmm.
On GoldenEye.
Yes. And it's GoldenEye 64, the original.
Yeah.
Running on an
Okay.
a pretty hardcore, if not pretty basic Nintendo 64 emulator.
Yeah.
But apparently, I haven't played it myself. I've been hearing that they went all out porting this thing.
Cool. I will definitely check it out. My week in gaming, or weeks.
Yes.
in
Oh,
gaming,
yes, because we haven't. Yeah.
have been primarily based around. I almost said Fire Emblem. Wouldn't that be nuts if I just?
If you just started playing the new Fire
Yeah.
Emblem.
No. Elden Ring.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go.
I'm still playing Elden Ring. I'm 3 bosses in, like big bosses.
3 big bosses.
Yeah.
So you're in the school.
I already beat the school.
Oh. So you're already in
I beat Godric. I beat
Yes.
the school. She's got like all the crawly.
Yeah.
And I just beat. You get like 8 summons, and the dude's on a hill and he's like shooting arrows.
Oh,
at you.
Rom.
Yeah.
I forgot about Rom. That's
He was
right.
fucking hard.
He's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was cool. The whole thing was cool. It was nice to see Alexander the
pot.
pot.
Yeah.
I love him.
What is your opinion on
The wolf guy.
Yeah, I forget his name. What's your opinion on
He's
Wolf Guy?
cool. He's chill. He's a lot chiller than I expected.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Also, apparently that's just his head. I thought it was a mask. But,
Oh, yeah.
But when you watch him talk, it's clear that he has got a wolf head.
But yeah, I'm liking the game. I was starting to get a little frustrated because I was losing a lot of runes, and I've been grinding, so I was like, I don't know, something's not adding up. All the equipment that I got at the beginning of the game is still kind of better than all the stuff that I'm getting now, even though that's starting to level out. So I'm still enjoying Elden Ring. Once I'm done with Elden Ring, I'm gonna finish up Brilliant Pearl, Diamond Pearl, Shining Brilliant
Pearl.
Diamond Pearl.
Yes, all those words.
And once I'm done with that, I'm moving on to the new Pokemon game.
Oh, cool.
Which is Violet for me, I believe.
Oh, I don't know if Pauline told you. I have all the starters. I have extra starters for you.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So
she
whatever,
didn't tell me.
whatever,
That's cool.
whatever starter you get, I could get you 3 of each of the other ones.
Blade. I think Blade is
Oh,
pretty hot.
Blythe, right?
Is that the wolf guy?
Yeah. Spell it. It's Blaid, right?
Yeah. Asheria has 2 Ds, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it's pronounced Blythe.
What
That's
a-
right. That's
what
why
a
I couldn't remember it.
Weird thing they did.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. That guy's awesome.
Yeah. I'm straight, but then on top of that, he's a wolf. So I did not have a lot of like sexual stuff going on. If I had to pick, if I had to ship my character with a male character in that game, it would be Alexander the Pot.
Okay.
Because he's just
All right.
so cool.
I don't think Alexander the Pot is capable of.
Well, you got me with a wolf or a
intercourse,
pot. They're both
You have to-
cool.
you can just. Okay.
By the way,
I'm glad that this is where your head is at while you're playing Elden Ring. 'cause
I
this
sure
is-
do have 2 Ds. Damn.
Damn. I'm glad this is where your head is at while you're playing Elden Ring, because this is where most players' heads were at, where they were at Elden Ring. It's like, this is a fun game. Which one of these things could I fuck in real life?
That's not where my head is. Funny enough.
I don't know.
If you're gonna ask me, there's one guy. I mean, there's one guy who, because I had to fight a couple of pots.
Yeah.
In like specific battles, they weren't random, and I was like, "Fuck, did I kill him? Did I fight him? Where is he?" Because he went missing for a while. What did I come into? Drizzle.
We're talking about sexualizing Elden Ring characters.
Yes.
We're talking about Alexander the Pot. We're talking about Blythe the Wolfman. We're talking about how you fuck them, which ones you can fuck. We're going to do a sexual ability tier list.
Smasher pass.
We're going to do a smasher pass Elden Ring dudes only, apparently.
Run by Ashuria.
yeah, spearheaded
Reft.
by yeah. Oh, that's
In case it
interesting.
gets
A
heated.
tier list has never been refed before. You and I are in agreement, and they're like, "All right, I'm coming in. This person wins. Move on."
You're both wrong. It's
You're
this one next.
I've decided you're both. Stop your heated debate, you idiots. You're both wrong. It's clearly this. Move on.
Beyond that, though, I don't know if I've told you this. I'm gonna talk about it briefly because I'm just realizing now I didn't get any consent to talk about this.
Oh, okay.
So I will use no names. No, I won't even get into stories. But I think it's cool.
Okay.
As some people know, I'm going to school to get my master's in music therapy, but I work with other modalities. So there's dance, there's art, there's expressive, which is like a mix of all of them. That's like the avatar. They can bend like every.
Cool. Good.
Drama therapy. So,
Ooh, the avatar, but it's different musical genres. Sorry. Keep going.
So, I have intermingled with people from different modalities, and someone I met was like, "Hey, I'd like to run a D&D campaign, but I'd like the secondary focus to be what are the therapeutic benefits behind a D&D campaign." So that's what it's geared towards. That's what it's catered to.
So it's not. I see. So it's not like a therapy themed session. It's a regular session, but keeping like you're gonna take therapy notes rather than
what are the benefit, and we're gonna like delve into some stuff. I don't know. We did a campaign 0, which I wanted to talk to you about. This. Do you know what a campaign 0 is? I mean,
of course.
I feel like we should do that.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I'd be down next time we like start up again, because it was really the DM got a lot of notes on the characters. A lot of
Well, that's why I was asking so many questions before we started playing.
I know. I know why you did that. It was just nice to sit down with the group and be like,
yeah,
it was cool. I liked it. Drizzle saying there's actually a system for that. It was Kickstarter a couple years ago for D&D music, D&D therapy? ? That's cool. And yeah, I'll, get a feeling for what people think about me talking about that here, and I'll potentially be back with more. Besides that, so a few things. I remember we were talking before we went live, and we were like, I feel like I had something to say to you.
Yeah.
I just remembered what I had to say to you.
Okay.
So, I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart to get ready for something we're planning on the channel, which I'm not at liberty to talk about yet.
Yeah.
So, I'm too good for the CPUs in Mario Kart. So I was like, all right.
So you went online?
I'm going to take it online. And I am holding my fucking own online.
Okay.
And I'm impressed. And I had mentioned to you because I was immediately like, can you make money playing Mario Kart? And I went to the internet, and the internet said, yes, on a very specific site. I'm not even going to get into the site.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And it's like you're gambling almost. You put a certain amount of money into the pot, and if you win, you get the money, you get the pot.
Okay.
So I had mentioned this to you, and it went one direction. I meant for it to go another. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And you were like, yeah, do it if you want. What I meant was, what do you think about investing some channel money? I get really good at Mario Kart. What do you think about investing in, I mean, like, a minimal amount of channel money to see if we can make money back?
You keep saying we. I don't want to do this myself.
No, I'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, utilizing our channel funds.
And streaming this endeavor.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to say yes just because I feel like there's some legalese to be figured out when there's actual like exchange of money
No, I hear
going
you.
on.
It's not our problem though. This site's like, and they were even because I was reading the FAQs and they were like, if we find out somebody's cheating, we're gonna take legal action and shit like this. So
Okay.
they seem to be up to snuff. They were
Okay.
also like, "Are you a streamer?" Shit like this, and they.
Okay.
I'm gonna do more research. I'm gonna keep practicing Mario Kart, and maybe we'll circle back in a month or two.
Yeah, because at first when you brought this to me, it sounded like you wanted to be an e-athlete, and if that's the route you're going, then by all means go for it. But now what you're describing is literally like horse racing, but betting on yourself.
But I'm the horse
For
Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
It's just an idea.
Yeah.
I thought it would, if we invested $10 into it my thought was I get $10. If I lose the $10, I lose the $10. But if I can keep making money, I keep making money for the channel. But I want to keep practicing Mario Kart.
Okay.
We'll get to it. We'll get there.
Okay.
A conversation to be continued another day. Ashuri says this sounds like the setup to an early 2000s cartoon with a back-to-school special vibe, or an anime that ends in a harem. Damn.
Ashuri is horny, I think, is what we're
Little
learning. I think Ashuri is horny today.
A little bit. That's okay.
No, that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine.
I would watch esport. No, sorry. I know. I said I'd watch. I'd watch an anime that was like, hey, I'm decent at this game. Nobody gives a shit about. Everybody likes it, but it's not. Nobody wants to watch it.
No way that doesn't exist, right?
Maybe.
Like an up and coming esports anime. There's gotta be, right?
Probably.
Because I know there's Sword Art Online. That's about like living in an MMO, but there's gotta be an esports anime. It's gotta be.
Toga. Welcome on in.
Hello. Welcome. We're just about to talk about gaming news.
Yeah,
I think you were. Yeah.
That's it. That's everything I had for gaming news of my own. Let's get into the real gaming news.
Okay, so a few quick things. I wouldn't have talked about these individually, but they all happened on the same week, so I was like, that's odd. So Rumble versus Avengers, the Square Enix Avengers game, and Back for Blood are all ending their services, so you're not going to be able to play any of those games online anymore.
Was there really an online audience for that Avengers game? It didn't feel like an online game.
I have no idea. I've played zero of this game.
It was like Spider-Man.
But you were there was you were supposed to play online with other people. It was like a co-op deal, right?
Like Elden Ring?
No, more like Destiny.
Okay.
But yeah, no, what I wanted to bring this up because these are 3 games that released like in the last year or two, and they're already ending their service. Back for Blood specifically said that they were ending their service because they couldn't keep it up while focusing on their next game. I guess I don't know how hard it is to keep up. I don't know. It just seems so interesting that like the Rumble Versus I thought just came out, so I don't know. I don't like that games can just end because like Avengers not a good game, right? But like I own it. I haven't played it yet. It's very far down on my list, and I know you can still play it single player, but like this makes me like want to play it less. I don't know. It's interesting. Replayability is like in gaming
important.
Is like losing.
Absolutely.
Well, it's important, but it's also like like going away for some reason. I don't know.
Well,
like the new God of War game, I'll play that whenever I want because it's off because it's a But this new Avengers game, like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That God of War. The Avengers game should have been set up like any normal video game that's that style should have, like God of War. It's a single-player game. There it is, the end.
Right. But
and,
no, they wanted
replayability remains the same.
Right.
You want to play the new God of War game? Play it again.
Yeah.
It's the same experience.
It's 2040, and it's 5 God of War games ago, and you still want to play it? Go for it.
Right.
But no, Avengers was going for like that Destiny style, like loot, loot gathering, loot dropping, like, raids and shit. And if it already wasn't clear, it seems like the user base wasn't what they thought it was going to be, because didn't they have like 20 to 30 DLC characters planned, and they only added like 3 or something? They added Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Hawk Girl, and then that was it. Not Hawk Girl. That's Hawkeye, but the lady Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And then that was it. But yeah, anyways, so we got a small Resident Evil 4 update. As you know, Resident Evil 4 is being remade. Game Informer got like an exclusive. They've had like stuff all week. The biggest thing that they showed is that if a zombie grabs Ashley, you can run up and stab the zombie rather than like shooting it in the leg and trying not to hit Ashley.
Oh shit.
So that was pretty cool. But yeah, everything else they showed, I was like, it looks like it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I still hold what I said. I think that Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space, Dead Space just came out. I don't know why they're being remade. They're like pretty modern. Like Resident Evil 4 is pretty modern still in my eyes. So I don't know why it needed to be remade. I'm not gonna not play it. It looks incredible, and I love Resident Evil 4. But yeah, when they announced that one, I was just like, okay, sure.
Okay, you're opening a can of worms that I do want to talk on. We do have a new message. I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
The whole remaking of video games, that's the new trend now. Everybody's into remaking games.
Yeah.
Gives me a real Disney live action vibe, and I'm not into it. I don't care.
Well, here's the thing. More often than not, it's a good thing. Like Spyro and Crash, they got their remakes, and like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 got remade, and Resident Evil 1 remake is kind of actually a bit old at this point, so it's just sort of a graphic overhaul. But Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 are completely different video games,
Well, that's different. That's more or less a reboot than a remake. I'm not interested in the same content again with better graphics.
That's where I disagree with you. If the game is still good but it looks like trash, then yes, I would love like the new. I will never play the old Spyro or Crash games, because the new Spyro and Crash games are the exact same game. They just look prettier.
I get that. I do get that. And if it was a game, like, frankly, I would never play Brilliant Pearl, the original, because I played the remake.
Yes.
And I like the
perfect
remake.
Example.
But I guess what I mean is, as opposed to putting your time and energy, developers putting their time and energy into that, I would rather new content. Make me a new game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I love Resident Evil 4, right? I love it as much as the next dude, but would I rather... Because Resident Evil 8 comes out, and it takes them forever to release DLC for Resident Evil 8. We're talking like a full year and a half.
Mm.
And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're remaking Resident Evil 4. Aren't you happy? And I was like, yes, I am happy, but because I do like Resident Evil 4. I am a huge fan of it, but I do think I would have preferred Resident Evil 9.
You see where I'm coming from,
I see where you're coming from, but I think it's situational, because like with the case of Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, like no one was doing anything with those franchises. And then they came out of nowhere and they were like, hey everyone, we're going to remake all 3 Crash games. They're going to play exactly the same. It's just going to be better. And we were like, okay. And then that opened the door for like, now we're going to remake the racing game, but we're going to like make it, and now we're going to make a new Crash game, a brand new one. And now there's rumors that they're making a new Spyro game, and it's going to follow suit. It's going to be Spyro 4, even though there was like a bunch of Spyro games after Spyro 3. And then you talk about Resident Evil 2, where it's like you play Resident Evil 2 remake, and then you play the original Resident Evil 2, and you're like, oh, this is a completely different experience. This is a completely different gameplay, completely different visuals. Basically, you just adapted the story into a new type of game.
See, I'm with you there. If it's a different experience, if it's a reboot, like a different game, sure, why not?
Yeah. Come on, Daphne.
But there's just certain situations where I'm like, you just kind of wasted time and resources.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring up Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space specifically, because the Dead Space remake is out, and everyone seems to really love it. Everyone's talking about how great it is. There was actually a couple of memes, because they just made the Callisto Protocol, which was basically like a ukulele situation where the devs who made the original Dead Space were like, we're making a game that's basically Dead Space, and apparently it was terrible and super short. And here comes the Dead Space remake. Like, never fear, I'm here, and I'm really good, and everyone fucking loves it. But I'm still just sitting here like, yes, I agree, this game looks exceptional because it's using modern graphics. Dead Space is an Xbox 360 game.
Right.
Like, and Resident Evil 4 is a little older. It's a GameCube era game, so it does look dated. But, like, not so dated. Oh, you're tempting fate. Not so dated that I feel like it needed to be remade. Like, I'll put my foot in my mouth when I play it, and it's a completely different video game, you know? But I don't know. I just think there's, like, there should be, like, a time period of, like, now, and our game came out this many years ago, now we will remake it.
Yeah.
But there should also be, like, what are you doing? Like, Nintendo's a perfect example of this. Whenever Nintendo re-releases a new game, they always add something. Like, they're doing it again with Kirby Dream Land, which in my opinion is the best Kirby game. They're re-releasing that. It has a new art style, but other than that, everything's completely the same, except they added a completely brand new, like, world, like, level that, like, you control differently, and it's got, like, a bunch of mini games. So, like, Nintendo is famous for, like, remaking a game and making it exactly the same. They just want it on a different console because they don't know what they're doing. But they add a new thing where they're like, so now it's worth the $60 we're paying for it, you know?
Right. Yeah, Daphne? Okay, we got some.
Yeah,
we got some stuff.
And then we'll switch.
Drizzle says, I'm personally getting tired of the directions a lot of video games are going, where they need to be connected and doing constant updates. Tony Hawk Pro Skater remakes were very cool. And Ashuria says, if a game is inaccessible, I think a reboot makes sense. See, I agree with that, but just port it. Just port it, like what Nintendo's doing.
Like what they did with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. That's a PS3 exclusive game. It's widely inaccessible. Now it's not. They didn't remake any shit.
Pilgrim.
They released this. Scott Pilgrim is a perfect example. They released the same game.
It also destroys the market for some of these physical games. Like
I'm okay with that.
Oh, just that's what I'm saying. I'm 1,000% okay with that.
I love when dude. I can't wait for them to re-release Earthbound, and then the price like cuts in half once again.
And I'm totally with you too, Mason. I have nothing to add. I think I feel exactly the same as
they literally
does.
just I don't want to talk out my ass. I'm pretty sure it was Redfall. There's like this new vampire game coming out that you and I had to sit through a couple different trailers at a couple different E3s recently. I'm pretty sure that's the game. They announced that it's going to be always online, even though it's only single player.
Okay.
I don't know. So does that mean that if I like live out in the woods, I can't play your single player game? I don't know. Anyways, I think that was Redfall. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was a game that said it would always be online, even though it's single player. I think that was Redfall. Anyways, the Wizards of the Coast has renewed the open game license indefinitely.
Huzzah! So we're okay.
Yes,
we're back to normal.
We're back to normal. They said, fuck. Well, I guess shit.
Foiled again.
I
guess you'll just have to buy all our minis and books and shit in the movie.
And
deal with it, I guess. There's a lot of places here that have horrible internet access and super low data caps. That's yeah. Kind of a non-update, but we don't really need to talk about it much. But open game license is here to stay in a major way. Huzzah! And actually, that means we got some business to talk, Mason.
And then, they announced that Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony will not be in attendance at E3 2023.
So, is it COVID related? Is that what it is, or are they just boycotting E3?
No, I think it's neither. I think E3 is just done. I think E3's on the outs.
It kind of killed itself, didn't it?
Because they didn't say, because 2023 was supposed to be its big like in-person revival. And like, you know, here's the deal, right? Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, oof, right? But like, there's also like a million indie devs. That there's still Ubisoft. I was gonna say there's still Bethesda, but that's Xbox.
Yeah.
Shit, so many things are Xbox. I'm going through the list. I was like, nope, that's also Xbox. No, that's Sony. So that means no Square Enix. Anyways, yeah.
No,
so,
those are. I mean, that's.
But here's the
convention canceling news.
Here's the thing, right? They're not going to cancel it. I don't think.
No.
I don't think they have it in them. What we don't know right now is the why. Because if Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo come out and they're like, we pulled out of E3 because we're moving over to Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, then E3's back on, baby. You know, like conceptually, like
right.
like all the things. Like that's the thing about this. This is why I'm not nervous. You know, cancel E3, pull out of E3, whatever. E3 shit is still gonna happen around E3 season. You know, it always will.
We'll get the news we were going to get.
Right,
absolutely.
we're gonna get a Xbox, Nintendo, and Sony press conference.
Right.
In addition to or included in Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest.
Right.
The fact
it was just convenient that it was all.
Yeah,
it
was just convenient for shareholders and for fans that it was just like, this is the weekend. It's video games the weekend, you know.
Right.
And I feel like a year ago, 2 years ago, I was really worried that this would happen, but I've been so like I kind of expected this, and I'm kind of not like I'm not as upset as I should have been. I saw that I was just like, okay, like because even if there was no Summer Game Fest, like there's gonna be an E3, you know.
Yeah,
we're gonna get all the things we would normally get. We're gonna get E3 season.
Right.
It just might look different.
I feel like we've been dealing with that on and off the past 3 years, anyways. Because PlayStation would drop out, or PlayStation would drop out, and then there was that year PlayStation dropped out.
I was really surprised that it was Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox. Xbox has been like, oh, fuck those chumps.
Yeah.
We're with you, E3. Yeah. All the way.
Xbox, as the kids say, knew the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
They saw Nintendo and they were like, look at this shit. You want to play Nintendo wherever the fuck? Well, now you can.
Right.
They saw PlayStation be like, we're going to make the best console that's ever been made. Also, we have Spider-Man. And Xbox was like, okay, so that's what this decade's going to look like.
And then Xbox purchased everything.
Yeah, they were like, we're ready. You know what they did? They did the equivalent of stockpiling nukes for the eventual World War II of video games.
Though. That's exactly right. That's a great analogy.
Because that's what it seems like we're gearing up for is gaming World War II, right? Like, whose side are you on?
Yeah.
But now Nintendo has dropped themselves. Like, beforehand, Nintendo was above that nonsense. But I feel like Nintendo's... if it happened again, I feel like Nintendo would be like, all right, we'll play.
Yeah.
We'll play for keeps this time.
I mean, if you look at it as a literal war, as a numbers game, you have Xbox, ZeniMax, Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, Rare.
Oh, they've got
the
numbers.
And then you've got, like, Sony has this and this and this, and it's got Square Enix, and Nintendo, I think, has a licensing agreement with Sega, but other than that, that's it.
But they don't. But here's the thing. You can't beat Nintendo's in-house games. They own Mario. They own Zelda. They own Mario Kart. They own Smash Brothers.
They do own Smash Brothers. But Smash Brothers might be dead. We don't know.
You know what, though? Shit like this gives them a reason to come out with Smash Bros. Ultimate Just Kidding, here's another one.
Right. I'll say it every time a discussion leads in this direction. Super Smash Brothers Kart. Just do it. It fucking writes itself.
I've always kind of been on the fence when you say that, but playing the Mario Kart that I've been playing, if your concept is just what they did with Link but do it with fucking everybody, then yeah.
My concept is take what you have...
Is it fighting or no?
No.
Okay.
My concept for Super Smash Kart, I'll be brief about this, is take what you have with Mario Kart 8 mechanics-wise. Mm-hmm. You know, you can add gliding, you can add
and
anti-grav.
You can change although all that shit changes the track, the speed, the
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, you mean like the CC counter and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then what you do is you literally just one for one combine it with Smash Brothers. Remove all the Mario Kart items except maybe the really, really iconic ones, like maybe Blue Shell, Mushroom, and Lightning Bolt. And then other than that, replace them with Smash Brothers items, make them, and then from there, the stages write themselves. Do a Fire Emblem stage,
Right.
do 3 Mario stages, make 2 new ones, make an original Mario Kart stage that's in there. You know, and then from there, if you don't want to do, and then with a game like that, you don't have to do third parties. It'd be so cool to play as Cloud and Sonic and fucking Ryu, but you don't have to.
No.
You have enough
game,
like it would be fresh enough that we wouldn't need third parties.
And you just started. You know, it's like the first Smash game. There was like 9 characters or what have
Exactly. Yeah. You don't
no,
right?
There was 8.
There was 12.
There was 12.
Yes.
Okay.
There was 8 plus 4.
Right. They had the bonus ones. Right.
And those would be, of course, say with me, Luigi, Captain Falcon, Jigglypuff, and Ness. Anyways,
in Mewtwo.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I knew you were kidding, but my brain was still like, he is wrong. Correct him.
Ashuria says, Smash Bro, the final Smash. It's a dating sim. I'm going to see myself out.
Wow.
It's well, first of all, it's Smash Bros. The final Smash or pass.
Sorry, you asked who I would pick, right? It's Sheik.
I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
It's not Mewtwo?
It's Sheik. For obvious reasons. And then, that was it.
Bayonetta's in that game.
Bayonetta is in that game, yes. But have you seen Sheik? Anyways, outing myself.
I'm sure people would be horny for Mewtwo, says Drizzle. Thank you.
People are, yeah. Are you not horny for Mewtwo? Have you seen his abs? Anyways.
No, what? No. He's got just like a salamander.
I'm sorry, I don't mean
body.
abs, I mean pecs.
Okay. He does have those.
Yes. Speaking of wanting to fuck Mewtwo, just announced earlier today, there's a new Pokemon TCG set dropping.
Oh, shit. They haven't done that in 2 months.
Well, they haven't done that in a full year, I think, because they're moving on to this new one's gonna be Sword and Shield. Not Sword and Shield, the next one, Scarlet and Violet.
Okay,
we're on to a new era, is what I'm saying. I have it right here. It's the announcement for the Japan version. But the Japan version is called Triple Beat. And I want to go over a few cards. It's not the whole set. It's just like here's what the set has to offer.
Yeah.
EX cards are back.
Oh fuck.
So they're different, but they're back.
Okay.
You have to evolve for them.
Spoopy Snorlax says Salamander. He's a cat, but like this part of him is like, I don't know. Is he supposed to be a cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, looking at Mew, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, this part says.
No, I know what you mean.
Chameleon or some shit. It says lizard to me.
No, I'm with you. So EXs are back. You have to evolve for them. So it's like GXs.
Okay.
The other thing is, here's how they changed it. You have to evolve for them. 2 prize cards, so that's the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're super powerful. So, for example, I'm looking at Sprigatito right here, and Sprigatito has 70 HP, and then its evolution, Floragato, has 90, but then its evolution, Meowscarada EX, has 310
Holy
HP.
Shit.
So they're going to be real beefy, and it looks like they're beefing up basic cards too. Like now I'm looking at a Palladian Tauros, which is just a one-time. It's not an EX. It's got 130 HP, and it does 120 damage if you discard 1 energy. So they're bringing back EXs, but they're kind of making it like GXs without the GX move.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. It's kind of a combination of all the bullshit they've done over the past few years. Like it's as powerful as a VMAX. It works how a GX worked, but it is an EX. I don't know. It's cool.
Here's the only issue with that. If you play expanded like we do, right? You're getting ready to build up this powerhouse of an EX. And I've already got my Tauros GX out there, and I just keep knocking out your first stage Pokemon before you get a chance to get there.
Then you have you do it on the bench.
No, I know, but like you know what I mean though. Sometimes you get into that, like, oh, we knocked this one out. I got him on the. Oh, now I got to put him out. And
what I'm saying is I think that some of the like one stage basic cards are gonna be able to like hold their own against a Tauros GX long enough for you to be able to build your powerhouse Quaquaval EX.
We'll have to see it in the field.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be pretty well balanced. Obviously I haven't played with it yet. There are a few trainer cards that were kind of hyped that I want to go over real quick. Superior Energy Retrieval. Discard 2 cards from your hand. Put 4 basic energy from your discard into your hand.
Nice.
And then we've got Clavel, who's the headmaster of the school. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon that have 120 or less HP. Put them in your hand.
Okay.
And then this is the one that's got everyone titillated. Luminous Energy. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but provides only one at a time.
Oh, so it's Dragon Energy, but one. Okay. And also works for anybody, I guess.
For any type.
It's Rainbow Energy, actually, but there's no downfall.
Yes.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yes.
Is there a Clive card? It says Drizzle. Also, Spoopy Snorlax is who I think it is. That's Tsunami.
Yes.
We have Drizzle and Tsunami in the chat. That's awesome.
There's not a Clive card yet. Who the fuck is Clive? I just played like 80 hours of the new Pokemon game. Who is Clive? Why can't I think of who Clive is?
I'd love it if he was fucking with you.
Are you fucking with me? Who's Clive? And why would there be a Pokemon of him? Clive. Pokemon.
Do we have,
Who's Clive? Who the fuck is this? Oh, Clive. Okay, yes. Okay, I know who Clive is. I won't talk about him any longer. Do we have what?
A lot more gaming news just because we're coming up on the hour.
We have no more gaming news.
Oh, let's do real quick. Do we think we can make a game in 5 minutes?
No, I think we should move on.
Okay, we're going to move on then.
Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe.
Our channel has daily uploads from podcast video essays, Let's Plays to skits.
Be sure to watch on Twitch. We stream all our video game and podcast content live at 5 EST every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Our intro is by Brad Kendrick and music by Froggy and the Friendship. Link to all that in the description below.
Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.